Welcome to Chart Toppers. With the release of Fortnite Chapter 6, there are thousands of new players wanting to give Fortnite a try. This video is designed to walk you through the basics of Battle Royale and give you the tools to earn your first Victory Royale. First, let's talk about what Fortnite is. When people say Fortnite, they're typically referring to the main Battle Royale mode that this video will cover. However, Fortnite is branching out to include multiple games and modes across multiple genres. When launching Fortnite, you'll be greeted with the Discovery page. This page contains the games made by both Epic Games and by the community. The two main modes are Fortnite Battle Royale and Fortnite Zero Build. Battle Royale is also commonly referred to as builds and allows players to build structures using material found on the island. While builds is great, it is definitely not beginner friendly when compared to zero builds. This video will focus on zero build, but know that your skills in zero builds will directly translate into builds if you choose to start playing that mode when you get some more experience. So what is the main objective of Fortnite Battle Royale? There are 100 players and your goal is to be the last person or team to survive. Where Fortnite is different from so many other multiplayer games is that it relies heavily on strategy and using your mind just as much as your shooting skills. Fortnite is also unique in that the map is fully destructible. Fighting a player and he's hiding behind a wall, you can blow up the wall and gain the advantage. So now that you know the basics of Fortnite, let's go over landing from the battle bus. At the start of every game, the 100 players are loaded into the battle bus and it will fly over the map. Take this time to look at your map and determine where you want to land. You'll notice that there are several named locations, commonly referred to as POIs, and there are also plenty of buildings and locations that are not named as well. In general, landing at a named location will have more weapons and shields, commonly called loot, but will also have more players trying to fight you for it. When starting out, I highly recommend landing at an unnamed location on the map. This will allow you to loot up while avoiding conflict. Once you land, your first job is to loot. There will be items on the ground, but this loot is often not ideal. Fortnite uses a loot rarity system that determines the effectiveness of each item. Loot can be gray, green, blue, purple, gold, or mythic, each tier being better than the last. While loot rarity isn't everything, it's always great to have the best weapons and items possible when you get into a fight. You're going to want to find shield as quickly as possible. The most common forms of shield in Fortnite are the mini shields and shield potions. Mini shields give you 25 shield each and can only be taken if you have less than or equal to 50 total shield. Shield potions give 50 shield and do not have a maximum requirement. In zero build, you also have 50 over shield. This shield doesn't require anything from the player and recharges in a few seconds if you take damage. You should always try and have maximum shield to maximize your chances for survival. In an effort to keep all players fighting and moving, Fortnite has a mechanic called the Storm. When viewing your map, you'll see a circle, an arrow, and a line. The circle is where the storm will close in on. You must make it to this circle or you will receive damage from the storm. The arrow represents your character and the line is the closest path to the circle. There's a timer under your minimap in the top right corner that tells you how much time you have until the storm starts moving, and then another timer begins telling you how long until the storm reaches the circle. Keep an eye on this timer and you won't have any issues. Remember to keep an eye on the storm while building your loadout. You can only carry 5 items at a time in Fortnite. As you start to play more and more, you'll start to figure out which weapons and items you prefer. In general, I recommend carrying an assault rifle, a close range weapon, shields or medkits, a movement item, and a flex item. Assault rifles are the bread and butter of Fortnite. They're typically effective at medium to long range, typically are machine guns, and will usually be your first option when taking on an opponent. While every Fortnite season is a little different, close range options typically consist of either shotguns or submachine guns. Both are very effective up close and can quickly take care of enemies if they rush you. We've already discussed shields and their importance. Medkits will heal your health bar. It's up for you to determine what you want to carry, as both are great options. It's worth noting that the storm only does health damage, so if you plan on spending any time in the storm, make sure to carry a medkit or two. Movement in Fortnite is incredibly important. There are several items in the game that can help you move around the map. In the current season, the Typhoon Blade, Shockwaves, and the Void Oni Mask all allow you to push an opponent or run away quickly if you need to. Finally, the flex item loadout spot will depend on the game or your skill set. Do you like long range combat? Consider carrying a sniper in this spot. Prefer to play safe? Carry porta-bunkers, a throwable item that instantly spawns in a bunker that you can use to gain an advantage in a fight. Alright, so now you're loaded up and ready to fight. There are 2 things I always keep in mind when choosing to pick a fight in Fortnite. Number 1, do I have an advantage on this player? And number 2, do I have an escape plan? Again, Fortnite is not about getting the most kills, it's about surviving. That being said, taking out a player means you get all of the weapons, items, heals, and ammo they have spent the whole game collecting. One of the biggest advantages you can have in this game is height. It's a lot easier to shoot down at someone than it is for them to shoot up at you. If you're going to start a fight, try and get on the top of a hill, building, or structure first. But if things don't go your way, you need to have an escape plan ready. An escape plan could mean having mobility items in your inventory like shockwave grenades, which are grenades that send you flying away, or even just knowing where the nearest vehicle is. If you're in a bad spot, disengaging from the fight can save your match. Pay attention to your surroundings when entering a fight. Are you near the storm's edge? Are there other players in the area who might try and join the fight? A good escape plan isn't just about running, it's about repositioning to a safer area where you can heal up, regroup, and plan your next move. Remember, surviving the fight is just as important as winning it. Keep these two things in mind and you'll make smarter decisions in combat. When moving through the map, also called rotating, always look for areas with plenty of cover like rocks, trees, or the sides of hills. If a fight breaks out, position yourself near these objects to block enemy fire while giving you time to reload, heal, or plan your next move. If there's no obvious cover nearby, try crouching behind small ridges or dips in the terrain to make yourself a harder target to hit. Don't forget about the man-made structures either. Buildings, fences, and even vehicles can all act as makeshift cover. Just be careful around cars. Shooting them too much can cause them to explode, which might put you in a worse situation than you were in before. Lastly, when fighting in an open area with no cover, mobility is your best friend. Keep moving, use sprinting and sliding to stay unpredictable, and try to close the gap to the nearest piece of cover. The less time you spend standing still, the harder it will be for opponents to land their shots. If you do all of these things, there's a good chance you'll make it to the top 10. Making it to the top 10 is an achievement in and of itself, but this is where the stakes get higher and every decision counts. One of the most important things in the top 10 is positioning. By the time you're in this spot, the storm circle will be much smaller. Prioritize getting to the high ground or a position with plenty of natural cover. This means hills, ridges, and structures are your best friends. Avoid low ground at all costs. It's much harder to defend from below. Use your time wisely to scan the area and scout your surroundings. Look for players rotating into the circle or hiding behind cover. Listen carefully for footsteps or gunfire. Sound is one of your most valuable tools in the final moments. Play patiently. Don't rush into fights unless absolutely necessary. Let other players fight it out and eliminate each other while you hold a strong position. The fewer players left, the better your odds. If you do choose to engage, ensure it's a fight you can win, preferably against a distracted or low health opponent. In the top 10, third partying, which is attacking players who are already fighting, becomes a winning strategy. If you hear gunfire nearby, approach carefully and catch the remaining players off guard. But be cautious, don't overcommit and leave yourself vulnerable to others who might be watching. You're going to want to keep moving, but stay smart. The final circles are very unpredictable, and being stationary can lead to elimination. Use sprinting and sliding to stay mobile, but always move with a purpose. Move early into the safe zone when possible to secure a strong position, and avoid running straight into open areas. As the player count dwindles, you're going to want to prepare for the final fight. Make mental notes of where the last opponents might be, and use mobility items to reposition or take high ground before the final showdown. Finally, you're going to want to stay calm under pressure, which is easier said than done. The top 10 can get intense, but panicking will only hurt your chances. Focus on making smart, calculated plays instead of reacting impulsively. Stay confident, but remember, everybody else is just as nervous as you are. As you continue to play and fight, the nerves will turn to confidence. If you follow these steps, you can go from Fortnite noob to a winner in no time. Finally, I want to go over playing with a team in Fortnite. Fortnite can be even more fun when playing with friends in duos, trios, or squads. Instead of playing alone, you'll team up with 1, 2, or 3 other players to survive and win together. But teamwork is key. Here's everything you need to know to play well as a beginner in team modes. Fortnite lets you talk to your teammates through voice chat or text, and this is super important. Let your teammates know if you see an enemy, find good loot, or plan to move somewhere. For example, if you spot an enemy, say something like, "I see an enemy at 120. You can use the compass at the top of your screen to help. Or say, "I see an enemy by the big tree." This helps everyone focus on the same target. If you can't or don't want to talk, use Fortnite's ping system. You can press a button to mark things on the map, like loot, enemies, or locations to go to. You're going to want to stick close to your team so you can help each other, but don't run side by side all the time. If you're all grouped too closely, an enemy team could attack everyone all at once. A good strategy is to spread out just enough to cover different angles while staying close enough to quickly help if someone is in trouble. Remember, in team modes, sharing is winning. You all win or lose together, so don't hoard all the loot. If you find extra shields, health items, or ammo, give them to a teammate who needs them. In Fortnite, if a teammate's health drops to 0, they get knocked down instead of eliminated right away. They can crawl around and wait for someone to revive them. Stand near them and hold the interact button to bring them back into the fight. If a teammate is fully eliminated, they'll drop a reboot card. Pick it up and take it to a glowing reboot van on the map to bring them back into the game. But be careful because reboot vans are loud and might attract enemies, so make sure the area is safe first. Team fights are easier when everyone plays a role. One teammate can stay back and shoot from a distance, another can rush in close with a shotgun or an SMG, someone else can focus on healing or throwing grenades from a distance. Talk with your team before a fight to decide what everyone will do. One of the most important things is just remember to stay positive. This is supposed to be a game after all. Playing as a team means you'll win some games and lose others, and that's okay. If someone makes a mistake, don't get mad, just focus on what you can do better next time. Celebrate the little wins, like reviving a teammate or surviving a tough fight, even if you don't win the overall match. And that's it for this Fortnite Beginner's Guide. We've covered everything you need to know to get started, from looting and picking fights, to using terrain and cover, and working with teammates in duos, trios, and squads. Remember, Fortnite isn't just about getting the most eliminations, it's about surviving, adapting, and improving with each match. Don't worry if things feel overwhelming at first. Like any game, Fortnite has a learning curve, but with practice, you'll start to feel more confident and have a ton of fun along the way. If there's one thing to take away, it's this: stay patient, stay aware, and always think one step ahead of the competition. Whether you're outthinking your opponents, finding the perfect spot to rotate to, or landing that clutch elimination in the final circle, the more you play, the more these strategies will become second nature. Thanks for watching. If you found this guide helpful, don't forget to hit that like button. Subscribe for more Fortnite tips and tricks, and leave a comment below with your own beginner questions or success stories. Now jump out of the battle bus and start your Fortnite journey. I'll see you in the next video, or maybe in the final circle. Good luck out there.